Charles Davis, Fox Sports. Nicely done. All right, so you got the Rams and the Lions here. So the Rams lost a game that I thought they would win, and they didn't. And the Lions won a game that they almost lost. And, man, Caldwell really needed that last stop. I just feel like the Lions, even with the win, Charles, they're not going forward. What do you make of this Lions team right now?
Well, they're on that game last week, that win was the start of a 3-game homestand. So if they are going to go forward at all, they have to have these games. I mean, they started the homestand at 1-3. Let's be honest about it. I don't think very many people expect them to beat Philadelphia. Did I think that they would play well and tough against them? That didn't surprise me. Tiki will tell you. You talk about when you analyze a game, figure out who's desperate.
Yeah.
And look in that direction. And the second question that had to be answered is, with all the heat that is on Jim Caldwell as a head coach, the guys keep talking in the papers and to us about how much they like playing for him. Well, the proof's in the pudding. So I went into this game last week like, okay, you guys have told us that, but you're 1-3. If you really like playing for Jim Caldwell, we're going to need to see it on Sunday because here come the Eagles, and they did it. Now, can they follow it up? Look, they've got the Rams this week. Let's be honest about it. The Rams aren't what you'd call an offensive juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. And then next week they have Washington. All home games, all winnable. This is where we find out about what Detroit's going to do, because don't forget, brand new GM and Bob Quinn, you know what the evaluation process is for a head coach with a brand new GM.
Yeah. I
Flipping
want my own
Rams
guy.
real quick. The Rams, look, I had them earlier this year for the second year in a row. I had the same game, Rams at Arizona, and they beat them 2 years in a row. No one really thought that they would do that, but they got it done. They now are 3-2 because, once again, they lost a game that if you are going to win a division, contend for playoffs, it's a game you have to have, a home game against a Buffalo team that, they're pretty, they came in hot, but still, that's your peer. And the Rams have an amazing ability to play well against the teams they're not supposed to beat, Seattle, Arizona, within their division, San Francisco when they were good. Remember how well they matched up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn around outside of the division. What the heck? What was it, 3-4 seasons ago? The Rams went 4-1-1 in the NFC West.
Yeah.
And didn't even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah. That's got to be on Fisher, right? That's got to be on the head coach. That's got to be on the head coach, right, Charles?
Well, I think it's on. I think it's there. It's the idea that what works for you one week will work for you over 16, and it's really, really hard on a defense to sustain over 16. I know we all glorify the '85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, all of that, but you have to get some semblance of some offense somewhere because you're just going to wear those guys down. The Rams are 3-2, and this is what I call new math, that there's no way you can sell this in any school anywhere. They are minus 24 in point differential for the year.
Wow.
Minus 24, and they're 3-2.
That's
Sell
amazing.
that somewhere.
There you go. Charles Davis with us here on Tiki and Tierney, Fox Sports NFL analyst, and obviously he's got the Bills and the Lions coming up in Detroit this weekend.
Yeah, another team that's not great in that point differential is the San Francisco 49ers, but they're trying to amend that. Colin Kaepernick is going to go start. What impact do you think this is going to have, if any? And do you believe, like we do, that this was a contract thing? As soon as Cap, not getting injured, created a guaranteed salary situation for him in 2017, he was going to play because Blaine Gabbert just is not the guy.
It's hard to say otherwise based on what we're seeing in front of us, because for the longest time he was talking about he's not completely healthy. Remember that? Cap had to put more weight on.
Yep.
Remember that one? We had all these things going on, and then as soon as it seems like the contract thing gets worked out, all right, go get them, because now the money's not the same for the team or the issues. They desperately needed to try this because Blaine Gabbert has athletic ability, but he has never in his career flashed any type of consistency that says he's a guy who should be under center for 16 games starting.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have some problems in Jacksonville that weren't all his fault? Of course. He was playing behind not a very good team. They didn't build well around him. And some guys never come out of that very well. But he's had other opportunities, and he's never really seized it and just like, okay, let's go. I see that. You see flashes, but you don't see consistency. So you've got to try this with Cap. I think the thing that I took away from Thursday night, more than anything, and we don't have to stay with it very long, but Kaepernick, and for all the controversy, right, for him taking a knee during the anthem, for him starting that dialogue, and so much vitriol thrown his way, right? At one point, Phil Simms and Jim Nantz, because I didn't hear it, but they reported that while they were on the break, the crowd chanted, "We want Cap." And I thought that was so interesting because he was such a lightning rod, or is such a lightning rod for the criticism.
Mm-hmm.
But patriotism versus 1-3, the fans are tired of 1-3. We'll get to patriotism again later. Let's get someone in who can play, or we hope can play.
Yeah.
And he gives them a better opportunity, just strictly with maybe he can make more of those plays with his legs. Gabbert should be able to do that. He's more athletic than what people know.
Yeah.
But it's much more Cap's wheelhouse. And let's see if that happens. Now, I don't expect him to run it 20 times, don't get me wrong. But he's got to be accurate throwing it, and just that whole idea that he can hold the backside of a defense because you can't just exit and chase the ball carrier. Maybe it'll open up a few things for Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, we don't have a lot of time on this, but I actually meant to insert this before. Obviously, with the games, we keep seeing Case Keenum, throw picks. When do we see Goff?
Tells me that they're not comfortable with him being ready yet. They like Keenum, they like his toughness, they like his grit. They're telling us that Goff's coming along and what have you, but you don't see any real moves towards going in that direction. And I'll say this very quickly. If they stay in the race, I think they're going to have to make a decision. Let's say they stay in the race, continue to run offense the way they're running it.
Yep.
They may have to make a decision about, are we in a race to try and just somehow snag a playoff spot, or are we in a race to try and win a playoff game? And if that's the case, they may have to get Goff going because his talent is better than Keenum's.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the team likes Keenum right now. But even Keenum's making mistakes that you go, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's that interception? So right now they're just befuddled. But if Goff was truly ready, I think he'd be in there.
I agree.